Welcome in, players only, Lucky Lefty podcast. We have the legend, our guy Reggie Brooks. We have JARRON Jones, the big man in the middle. And also, we have Notre Dame wide receiver RAKI Nelson joining us. Malik's going to be along shortly, so I'm going to jump things off and host. And when Malik comes in, I'll jump out and he'll carry the rest of the show. We are brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com.
Sounds
So
good. Sounds good.
grab hold to it. Reg, RAKI, JJ, how you guys feeling this evening?
Good. I'm feeling good.
Pretty good.
Blessed by the rest.
I'm not up there in that cold South Bend weather, so I'm feeling good.
What is the anxiety right now for yourselves? And then I want you to put your minds, because this is an experience that none of you have ever experienced. No other Notre Dame football player has experienced a college football playoff game. Try to take us in the minds of what these players are feeling on the eve of this big matchup tomorrow night in Notre Dame Stadium.
Oh, I guess I'll kick it off then. These youngsters. Again, it's new. You know, this is all brand new. This is everybody's trying to, like I said, hey, how's this going to go? You know, you got an Indiana team that's coming in. I'd be honest with you. I was hoping to get one of those Southern teams up here, or like Arizona State or Tennessee. You know, I would have been more inclined to see one of them. That the weather's going to be a factor. You know, I mean, they're talking about some showers and snow showers, so the weather's going to be a factor. And I just hope that they're ready mentally to deal with that, as well as IU team is going to come in with a lot of confidence. You know, they're 11-1 and coming off like literally a historic year for them. Yeah, it's going to come down to who controls the line of scrimmage and who wins the turnover battle is going to make a huge difference in who wins this game.
Yeah. I think it has something to do with like from the player perspective. I think it has something to do with like now you're going to know they set up to they worked on this for a long time, but now you're going to know, hey, I'm the outright champ. You know what I mean? Like it has a whole system now, a playoff system that will reveal who's going to be the best team in the country. So I think I'll be more excited about that than anything. You know what I mean? So, you even got FCF school in there, playing for a national championship, basically. So I think that's the whole thing about it, is like they finally figured it out. And you're going to know at the end of the season, at the end of all the bowl games, I'm the best in the country. So I think that's really good. I think that's really good to know. Yeah. So
JJ, where you at, bro?
I'm excited, but I'm a little in between because of the fact that it is finals week. So, I'm just hoping that they make it through this first week. They take care of business. They come out and do what they're supposed to do. I feel like this is where we let our culture shine, this first and second round game, because these are culture defining games. In terms of, Coach Freeman leading that locker room. So, I'm really excited to see how, all the season long hype that's been around this, this open playoff. You've seen how many, fan bases have been in tune and supporting their team throughout the whole season. Because, you think about all the last Novembers where it was only that 14 playoffs, you only see about 8 to 10 fan bases that are, still interested in their team on whether, they make that playoffs. Now you're starting to see about a good 15, 16 teams, that has hope come that, conference championship weekend. So, I'm really excited to see how everything shakes out, especially seeing, first round games be played on college campuses. And us, having the starter by playing tomorrow, whereas all the other teams play on Saturday, it kind of gives that added pressure because, now we're the opener. So are we going to be the opening team to do what they're supposed to do, or are we going to be the opening embarrassment? You know what I'm saying? So, I'm excited, and I really think the boys are going to shine. I really do. I really have faith that they're going to shine come tomorrow.
It's amazing that, you talk about this matchup. Notre Dame has not played or will not have played for 20 days. Time flies, man. It really does. It doesn't even seem like they've been off that long, but that's a long time to have not played football. And I think both teams will be coming off long stretches of not
Exactly. So
that first quarter might be a little, it might be like, the heavyweight fights where, you have two guys that throw haymakers, but they come out and they just kind of test and seek range on each other. And you really don't see a lot of punches thrown for the first couple of rounds. And then it's going to take somebody to land that first punch to kind of loosen things up. And that might be the first couple of drives, for both teams. But this is what Marcus Freeman had to say about getting his team in game mode.
Preaching the same messages that everybody knows it's a big game, but the approach to the game can't change. What we've been doing in terms of our preparation mentally and physically has given this program a chance to succeed. Now, all season long, we've talked about elevating, right? Continuously finding ways to get better in terms of how we prepare. And that's no different as you prepare for this one, is that we have to find ways to enhance the way we prepare and continue to elevate as a team with that same approach that we've had. And we'll get to Friday when it gets here.
It's a big game. It's a different kind of game. But the fact that you've been in win or else mode basically since September 7th, how can that work to this program's advantage?
Yeah, it's something I've been preaching to the guys, and something that I reiterated this last week was that we've been in playoff situational games since week 3, and we understand that. And every game that we play in is a version of a playoff game in our minds. And so continue to understand that don't have any added pressure for this one that you haven't had the previous 10, right? And so our guys understand that. That's going to be the message that I continue to reiterate, and let's just focus on the way we're preparing more than anything.
I don't know. This one seems a little different. I understand what he's trying to say. Like, they've been in playoff mode since that loss in Northern Illinois, but I think the environment will dictate once they run out that tunnel and stand on the sideline prior to kickoff. They'll feel like, this is a little bit different.
Well, but I understand the thought process,
Yeah.
and the team has to have that same thought process. This is a new game, a new opportunity. Just look at it as an opportunity. And what have you done since week 3? You made steady progression and in preparation. You had your ups and downs within games, but now it's that time of year. Can you maintain the mental focus needed to make a run? You're going to have, this is all the teams. They're going to have some issues with, can you keep this young man locked in to make this run? I mean, and it's going to require all the guys to be on the same page, and it's going to require the ball bouncing your way from time to time. But as long as they understand that we have to be locked in mentally, we can't come in and make this bigger than what it is. We can't come in and play down to a level of, beyond our own expectations. We got to be consistent in play, consistent in preparation, and consistent in focus. And I know I talked about the importance of, turnovers and controlling the line of scrimmage, but penalties are going to be a premium, to not get penalties, to not make those mental errors, because when you do things right and you see yourself competing at a high level, the mind controls the body. If you mentally see yourself playing at a high level, or if you see this game being too big of a situation, whatever you tell yourself, that's how you're gonna play. So that's what I said. I'll be interested to see, not there. So I don't know how they practice, where they practice, but all aspects of this game will come down to the mental preparation, because physically, you've been doing this for a while. So your body has become, hardened and just, running on muscle memory. It's what your mind tells your body to be consistent, to do the little things the right way, play in and play out. That's going to be the difference in this game and, this season. And it's no coincidence that Notre Dame is playing on Friday, and the other 3 games are being played tomorrow. On Saturday. It's you don't have to like Notre Dame, but Notre Dame is still a marquee brand that puts butts in seats and put eyes on TV. So, look at it how you will, but there's a reason we're playing. And I'm, gonna say it's like we're playing Indiana because this is they want people in their stadium.
Yeah,
and you're gonna get that. So I'll be interested to see how much of the stadium will be blue and gold or green, and how much of the stadium is going to be red. That's going to be very interesting to see how that dynamic shakes out.
Right, guy, for you. How would you? Or will you be? I want to know if you guys are going to be a little jealous watching this team run out in this moment, in this environment. Like wishing, like, man, I wish I had this opportunity to play in a tournament like this. Like you talked about, Rakati, about it's going to be a true champion.
Yes, but Reggie, everybody here knows that with the landscape of college football today, it's so crazy. Of course, every former player is kind of jealous just with the NIL stuff, everything that's going on. So they figured the playoff system out. It's a great atmosphere, everything like that. But of course, they're gonna have a little bit like, just like wow, these, over time these things are going to happen anyways. They're going to happen. People are going to figure everything out. Players going to get paid. Great for everybody. Great for everybody. But as far as the game goes, I think like Indiana, it's like Indiana and Notre Dame to me are kind of similar because, and I'm not talking about any other teams. I'm just telling what I think in my head, what I've seen. Notre Dame and Indiana, like Indiana, they lost against Ohio State, right? They lost against Ohio State, got kind of blown out against Ohio State. They beat the team they probably should beat this year because of the coach and who they had, so they knew they were good. Notre Dame kind of did the same. They could have went undefeated, probably not easily this year, but they could have went undefeated. They got to slip up against wherever that team was, NIU. But it's like they still didn't really face. I mean, I believe Notre Dame still didn't really face like a real monster yet, a blue blood monster yet. You know what I mean? Like and I'm kind of like worried about it. So you got 2 teams that to me were kind of similar, didn't really. And then when Indiana faced the monster, they got blown out. So I'm thinking in my head, this is going to be a very competitive game. There's going to be touchdowns. It's not going to be a blowout. They're both going to be laying it all on the line. So I'm like watching the game, like, okay, this is what's going to happen. And then whoever wins this game, hopefully Notre Dame, the next team they face is going to be pretty much a really good team. Now, Notre Dame's history, to me, what I've seen with the Manti Tail game against Alabama, all that different stuff I watched over the years and years, for 24 years now, it's like, okay, when Notre Dame faces the next team, which could be who? I didn't look at the whole structure. Who could Notre Dame
Georgia next? The winner faces Georgia.
Okay, they could face Georgia next. I want to see Notre Dame show up. I want to see Notre Dame show up. I want to see Notre Dame compete hard. I want to see them show up and beat Georgia. Don't show up, beat Georgia. And that's why I'm kind of fed up with. I know Reggie is. I know the other guys. I know everybody is on this podcast. Everybody listening to this. Like, we need to take that next step and beat a Georgia 21-7, 28-7. That's what I believe. That ain't happened since Reggie in them days. Like, we need to beat a really good blue blood team and put them in their place and show that Notre Dame football is here to stay. You know what I mean? I really believe that because it's that time. It's that time. For me, it's that time. Because I Notre Dame, sometimes it's like, okay, they beat who they should win. They beat who they should beat. They beat, USC was kind of fun to watch. 2 spectacular interceptions, return for long touchdowns, but like, okay, that was great, but beat Georgia. face them next and beat them to a point where we know that Notre Dame's back. When the last time we see that? When the last time we see that?
Yeah.
Nobody can answer that question since '88, right? I mean,
well, going back to like '93, Florida
yeah,
State.
93, 90. Like I want to see that. I want to see them face of Georgia come up and show what they can do. The offensive linemen, these great offensive linemen we have every year, the tight ends, the quarterbacks, the defensive back, all show up and show what they can do. That's what I'm looking forward to. So I'm not looking past Indiana, but I'm looking forward to Notre Dame actually putting their foot in the ground, saying, "Hey, we're here to stay." That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking for. So.
Yeah, JJ, where's your anxiety? Where's your anxiety, JJ, as you get closer to this game?
Again, I don't really have any anxiety outside of finals week.
No.
And then outside of the long layoff, I actually like the way Coach Freeman is actually going about this game, because contrary to how it was when we played for Kelly, it kind of felt like whenever we would encounter these big games, it kind of felt like we not really like this was anything maliciously intentional by Coach Kelly, but like we always felt like we needed to be something extraordinary for those days, for those games, rather than Coach Freeman has his players and showing belief to his players that we just need to just continue to be ourselves and just bring our best version of ourselves to the game. And that's one of the things I'm kind of admiring about this team. Again, I felt like, after that loss to NIU, I felt like it kind of took the pressure off of them, because everyone was kind of expecting like, an undefeated or bust kind of season because of how weak the schedule was in where you compare it to seasons in most recent memory of, the teams that we've had compared to the teams that we had this year. I remember, I know for sure, I didn't go to a home game this year because I felt like the home schedule was kind of weak. Because, I like to go to those big games. Like, like last year I went to Ohio State. I like to go when Clemson comes or USC, like those games. Yeah, so, and again, I get it. Notre Dame has to play whoever's on their schedule. This is the way that the schedule was made years in advance. There's nothing we can do about that at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was hype around these teams. Like when we scheduled them when did we schedule them? Oftentimes, like what, 5-6 years in advance. So like, I'm sure there was hype around, all of our games that we don't normally play, with how before it used to be, it wasn't as many conference games. So, we kind of had like a slate for more non-conference games and stuff like that. So I'm just really looking forward to just seeing how mature our guys really are. Long story short, are we going to be able to get over the hurdle of, it being finals week, us playing a Friday night game for the first time since what, 1900? Wow. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like they're doing something that has never been done before, and they can't really get any advice from anybody that played before them, because this is the inaugural home playoff game. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really going to see how much we've matured as a culture compared, from week 2 to now. Is our maturity going to come into play, and are we going to show who we really are, even if the game's not ideally scheduled? You know what I'm saying? So, it's just all about the focus of our guys.
Yeah, JJ, RAKI, you guys both touched on something. This is something that they don't have a resource of former players or former coaching staffs to reach back to and say, yo, how did you handle this situation? How did you prepare your team going into this situation? It is the inaugural home playoff game for this squad. Yeah. And then, as RAKI said, yo, getting over the hurdle, man. It's time. This is the time. And Marcus Freeman talked about that, knowing. When did you know that you have a good team, a talented team, and a playoff team?
Yeah. There's not one instance that I believe that I said, man, there's a playoff team until we beat USC. But talent is one thing. I still believe this is the most talented team I've had a chance to be the head coach of. But there's the work that it takes to take talent and turn into skill and to turn into being a great football team. And there isn't a defining moment for that. It's a constant process from when we started in January to fall camp to where we're at now. And we're still on a process to continuing to reach our full potential, as I always say, and improve. And then we'll look back when it's over. Whenever this thing is over, we'll look back and say, here's the key points in this season that really helped us get to this point.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Left himself has joined us, Malik ZAIRE, and this is players only. So I'm not a player, so I'm gonna take a step out and let the players talk about this upcoming matchup. I will be in the background playing the clips and making sure everyone sounds good. But gentlemen, as always, I appreciate you guys. Left, go ahead, take it away.
Man, thanks again, SD, man. Appreciate you guys, the locker room legends themselves, taking some time out with the good old Lucky Left and SD to talk about this year, man. I'm really excited for this playoff series, man. You know, the first game, the way, you know, Notre Dame structured it, they said, how can we make a lot of money if you're not going to give us the first 4 spots? So if you're going to give us this nice little Christmas bag just to run it up at home, I think it's unbelievable. Like I told Sean this morning, I believe that they're going to sell cups of snow. They're going to sell every part of the experience possible because Notre Dame knows that, okay, y'all may not allow us to get in these 4 spots, but we still going to come out on top when it comes to the green. But other than that, guys, thoughts on the season, just getting to this point. I expected us to be 11-1 or 12-0, but we ended up being 11-1. What was the idea for you guys and what you guys think of the season?
For me, it was 12-0. You know, I again, just looking how the schedule set up, I really felt that this team could accomplish that and should have. I mean, you know, Northern Illinois was not a better football team, but they were a better football team that day. And this is, you know, we've been talking about, you know, this moment, this new thing, this playoff system. Don't let the moment get too big for you. Don't let it be too big for you. And you do that by understanding what got you here, you know, and that's taking care of the things you need to take care of on the field, playing with, you know, lights out, playing physical, running the football, tackling. I would say this is probably the best tackling I've seen in some time. In terms of this team, they've done not a great job. They've done a really good job of tackling this year, which has been an issue for, you know, since even when Kelly was here. Tackling has been an issue, and I think a lot of that is because, you know, you don't get to practice it like, you know. I mean, we practice a physical brand of football, and you got to practice tackling to become good at it. And tackling is not easy, but if you practice at it, you become good at it. Just like anything you do, if you do it repetitively. Other thing with this team is I've seen a steady progression with Riley Leonard, and I keep going back to the fact that this kid was not with the team over the spring, so he hadn't developed.
Wait. What progression?
No, it was.
Really, Malik, no, we're not going to do
Wait, hold on.
No, it was. Yeah,
he's gotten progressively better.
It was a progression
because I think if anything, he just got more comfortable. I wouldn't like he didn't progress from 150 yards to like averaging 300 yards or doing anything in the run game that he wasn't
not
doing
making
before.
the big mistakes with the interceptions. He's gotten his accuracy has improved. I'm not saying he's throwing the ball all over the yard. That's not who this kid is. And he's gotten better about throwing the ball where it needs to be and developing a relationship with the receiving core, the tight ends. He's spreading the ball around to a lot more guys because he's coming, like I said, comfortable. But that's a progression because early in the year, he had no rapport with this, you know, receiving staff, and it showed. I mean, his throws were off. He was erratic, but he got progressively better in his relationship with the receivers and the tight ends. And I think what's name's going to have a big game. You know, in the passing game. We're not going to throw the ball a bunch because of the weather, but Mitchell Evans, be on the lookout for that kid. He's going to be a key factor and the success of the passing game.
Yeah. That's number 88, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's a tight end now.
Yeah,
It's a tight end, not a receiver. It's tight end. But I do think you're right. The mismatch in the weather conditions and him being a big target, I think we'll see some success on Friday night. I just think also just to see the maturity of this team, you see a Marcus Freeman not have to call Thomas Hammock during the season. Looks like he didn't need his advice because his coaching acumen got better after the bye week and in positions. I think the USC game was a great position to be in to prepare us to play a little bit of gamesmanship when an offense does have a good day. But, you know, for us to be able to go back and forth with USC and beat them how we did with 49 points and people think that was a close game just shows how much of a unit we are on all three phases. I think the defense leads the team and the offense is just hard to stop all game. We can have bad drives. We may not take off on teams in the first half, but by that second half, we wearing teams out. So I do think that's the biggest plus we have going into the playoffs is our depth. And I like I told Sean, 90% of these teams are dependent on their quarterback to have a good day to win the game. Riley Leonard can have literally 150 yards, not play the third quarter, and we beat a ranked team that was undefeated by double digits.
Wow.
So Riley's quasi fit within this team is not relative of winning and losing. Like IU talked about, they have to hit 13. Well, what about 4? That's the guy. What about 4? That's the dude you need to be hitting.
24.
So I do.
No, because I feel like
4, 21, all of them.
I feel like Riley keeps us two-dimensional, multi-dimensional. You know, I feel like with him, I feel like he has gotten progressively better at running that offense.
Yeah,
running the show. Yeah, running the
Yeah,
show.
he's been an exceptional game manager.
Yeah,
can we agree on that?
Yeah, and I think that he got better, like you said, better at those things, but also this the whole went to this tuck it and run too. Just tuck it and run, use his athletic ability, his long range, and
We'll
just
know
go
if he got better these playoffs. That's my opinion. I think the regular season being that I don't think we were underdog all season, it was the training ground. You know, we had 4 or 5 quarterbacks. All of us in there could at least won 6 or 7 games. Right now. Right now. I just played flag football the other day, so I still got it. So if we can all win at least 7 games with the team and the schedule we win against. And not that I don't appreciate Riley Leonard. I think Riley Leonard is a similar fit how Will Howard is at Ohio State, except Ohio State, they need Will Howard to win. When that running game wasn't going, they depend on Will Howard to carry him home, and they left with empty hands. With us, the running game has never been cut off. They ain't never shut our water off on the run. We've never had Riley be in a position where he's got to go down and come back from 2 scores throwing the football. So I do think the position of where we are as a team, I'm a little afraid in going into the playoffs of us playing from behind, playing a close game the whole way through because we haven't done it. And when we did against NIU, it wasn't great. How do we look with that? Other than that, I don't see a team that is complete enough. Who can score 40-plus points, score on a defense that's giving up less than average of your total, and a special teams that's stealing the possessions? I mean, we've been aggressive all season. So I hope that doesn't change either. But for a game like this, it's a slow roast, chestnuts over the open fire. We don't have to come out and score 30 points in the first quarter, but it'll be 30 points by the end of the game. And if our defense cuts half of their points and you add that snow, how many can they really get?
Well, it's going to come down because then playing USC, that offense, their secondary really challenged their receivers really was a challenge for our secondary. I mean, they got after us in the passing game, and you know that was the first time I saw the level of vulnerability from our defensive backfield. But the way they responded, the resilience,
2 6 in the game.
that's what I'm saying. The resilience that they showed because they were going after Christian Gray. I mean, they were attacking him left and right, but for him to come back and make that play in the fourth quarter, that just shows his again, for defensive back, biggest thing you got to have is a short memory.
Yeah.
You cannot dwell on when you got beat. You got to be able to process that, hey, and come back and compete. And that's exactly what that young man did. And, we saw it. And the other thing is we need to get continued pressure on this quarterback to make him uncomfortable. When our defensive line can get pressure on the quarterback, our front seven, it makes a difference. Because you got a secondary. Again, if you give them, if you get after the quarterback, you got a secondary that can play at a high level for that 3 to 4 second window, where the quarterback needs to get the ball out. These guys are, and you're talking about a true sophomore and a true freshman on the corners, and Xavier Watts is just a flat out ball hawk.
Yeah, he just.
Don Schuler comes in and steps in and does a great job. We're solid at the nickel. These guys are, you were talking, and to Raki's point, you talking about Georgia?
Yeah.
It starts up front. If the success that we have, on the defensive line, if we can get pressure, and whether we need to bring a linebacker here and there, that's fine. But and Malik, you talked about the O-line. That was another group that has shown marked improvement as the season progressed, because they were really struggling, allowing teams to split the double team, and getting those one-on-ones and losing those battles. But they progressed over the course of the year, and this offense is playing progressively better. And I just hope that they don't go in thinking they have to do something special because of this game being a playoff game. No, you don't have to do anything special. Do what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Remember what got you there.
Yeah.
Don't try to do more than what you need to do. Do what got you there, and be consistent and do the little things, play in and play out.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it seems like everybody's agreeing here. Malik, Reggie. What's your name again? What's your name, sir? At the bottom right?
Gerard.
Gerard. My bad, Gerard. My name's Rakai. How you doing? But no, but listen, it's like everybody's agreeing with the fact that, like, we're there now. We're kind of there now, and we have the talent right now at this present time to compete with a Georgia. It seems like we're agreeing with that. I don't mean to look, like I said, I don't mean to look forward to the Georgia game, but I am looking forward to the Georgia game. So I just want to, can we go to the next game, compete against Georgia at a high level, and beat them? That's my whole point. I know we're talking about this game, and I love the fact we're talking about this game and going over this. But like I said about Indiana, I don't think they really, like I said, when they faced somebody that had real talent, not saying the other team that have talent, but they had, they had guys that were they were tested. They were tested. They've been in the program for a while. It's Ohio State. So they got, what was it, 52-17? 52-17 or something like that. I don't know. But they got blown out. So let's beat Indiana. Let's beat them. We don't got to get too technical about it. Let's beat Indiana. If we're that good, take care of them. Just run it down our throat. Use our linemen. Deeps and backs play their game. Linebackers play their game. Like you said, don't do nothing new. When you get ready for Georgia next week, just get ready to actually do the same thing and be the same people and do it to them too, since we're there now. So that's how I feel.
Do you think that the season is a wash if we go against Georgia and don't win the game?
We get blown out? Oh, yes, I do. I'm saying just lose the game in general. I've seen it too many times. I will believe that it's one of them years where I say, "Oh man," I said, "See, that's what I'm saying." Like
I'm saying losing the game in general, not even getting blown out.
No, not losing. We beat Indiana and then face Georgia and lose the game. No, I wouldn't think it's a wash at all. But we got to go there and really give it to them. If we give it to them and we win, even if, like I said, if it's 35-32 or 20, 28-21, whatever, if we lose like that, great. But if we go up there and lose 45-7, I believe it was all a farce. But to me, I'm like, come on, man. Like these guys like setting up these schedules. Like, I don't feel some type of way. Again, it'll take me back in the past. It really would. So I know we're talking about Indiana right now, but I'm looking forward to Georgia. And I think we have the talent today to beat Georgia. So I want to see that game. I'm watch this game. I'll be glued into the TV. I hope that we handle it the right way. Like you said, run the ball down our throat, hit the tight end, play great defense. Georgia next week, I hope that we compete like we're gonna, like we should compete, like everybody wants us to do. Show up. That's what I hope. I mean, I know that you guys know what I'm talking about, so I don't even have to really explain that to you guys. But yes, that's what I'm hoping for. So that's what it is. That's what it is.
I just want to see us belong.
Yeah. You belong though. You go up there and face Georgia and beat them 35-14. They're gonna say you belong. They're gonna say you belong now. You're here. Come on, guys. We're back. I'm gonna say we're back. Finally say, I'm gonna say we're all the way back, guys. We're back. And I'll be excited. I am. And and a lot of Notre Dame fans, nobody says it because Notre Dame has such a good brand. They still making, like I said, tons of money. Everybody, they know how to, almost like the Dallas Cowboys know how to balance that drama a little bit. And, I don't even know if Jerry Jones will win games on. I don't know I think he just likes to, whatever he does and make a whole bunch of money. What I'm saying is Notre Dame, I'm not saying they act like that, but it's like almost that feel where, hold up, we need to win something, guys. We need to win.
It's the same. It's the same as how a lot of these coaches that win a lot of these easy T-ball games and then have a terrible record like Ryan Day again in games that matter. So I've argued though, however, that this is one of the, if not top two best teams in Notre Dame history.
Okay.
In Notre Dame history. Now you got to take it from the perspective of what we're doing defensively, the points that we've scored throughout the season offensively, the award winners that we have on the defense, and on top of that, the fact that if we complete this task of winning these next 4 games in the championship, undoubtedly it would have to be considered the greatest team of all time at Notre Dame. Nobody's been asked to do this challenge to go 16 games for a championship. Nobody has put this much domination on a season how we have, where you're winning by a point differential of 20 plus in 9+ games. And then you go into the regular season, let's say we win by double digits going through the playoffs. It's possible. We've seen the teams that we can potentially go against give up a lot. And the one thing that has been the most consistent for us is our defense, where we haven't given up the points. No matter if we've struggled offensively, defensively has kept us in every game. So I do think that with this being a full, complete season, with the coaching staff, Marcus Freeman in year 3, it's up for argument to be one of the greatest teams of all time.
Wow.
And most dominant.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that being said, with that being said, Malik, cool. I hope so. Like I said, gonna be glued to this TV tomorrow. Hopefully we're at Georgia next week or wherever we're gonna play at. And those words that you're saying now, hope it translates over to Georgia game and we do what we need to do. That's what I want to see. That's my
What you think, Reggie? What you think? Would you call the, like, if Notre Dame wins the championship this year, would you be ready to call them the best team in Notre Dame history?
No. I would be ready to call them one of the best teams.
Yeah.
Because again, like I said, you look at some of the other teams, and there's just a bit of a decline in, at least to me, the level of discipline across teams. Like I said, you have more and more teams that, and again, a lot of it is because of, again, how the game is played now is different. It's a different game. And, I'm just looking at, we were talking about Georgia and, playing Georgia Tech. Well, we rode Georgia Tech. Georgia struggled with Georgia Tech. But again, these rivalry games, they're different. But you look at, and to Malik's point, Oregon is by far the most complete team in this playoff field.
Yeah.
In terms of, when we're right up there. I mean, our defense, the offense continues to have the progression that they're making. Notre Dame is going to be a tough out. And I can't move to Georgia until we address Indiana, because Indiana, they haven't really played anyone, and they lost got really kind of rolled by Ohio State. But again, they were beating the brakes off teams they were supposed to beat the brakes off of. So it's not going to be just hey, roll in there and we're at home and life is good because this is the first playoff game at Notre Dame. Don't get shocked by all the things that's going on, the fanfare and everything. It has to be they have to be zeroed in. They have to be focused, fundamentally sound, and locked in. I will say this: it depending on how they go through this, if they win the championship, how they do it will factor in. Like I said, right now I can't say they'll be the best team because I don't know how they're going to finish. If they go through, win the championship, but it's how they do it is going to, that'll be the difference maker for me in terms of what makes this team. If this team is that, best team of all time in Notre Dame history, it's what they do and how they win the championship will have a bearing on how I view them.
Yeah. I just think really what's going to be the difference tomorrow is if we can just weather the storm that Indiana's going to try to put on to start the game. Because you got to think, you got to put yourself in their shoes. They've been coming second to Notre Dame since they've existed in the state of Indiana. They, especially with the season that they're having right now, what better way to open up the college football playoff season with a game under the lights at Notre Dame?
Yeah, you're right about that too.
You know what I'm saying? An upstate rival. Whether we're a rival or not, they look at us as rival, especially when it comes to football, because we are deemed as the big dog when it comes to football, and IU is considered the big dog when it comes to basketball. So I think they're going to come up dangerous, ready to play, and we just got to weather that storm. Again, weather that storm, punch them in the mouth, and then just take care of business after that. It's going to be up to how fast we can weather that storm. I don't think we can afford to let them jump out to our early 14-0 lead. If they score, they score. But I don't think we can allow ourselves to get down by more than 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, so you're thinking like Reggie was saying, like Notre Dame's will come out with stick to the plan like what you guys been doing. Do you think Indiana's going to do you think Indiana's going to kind of do the opposite? Like they're going to go for it. Like they're going to put the trick play in. They're going to put the 4th down call in. They're going to, you know what I mean? They're going to take more chances.
I think honestly, they're going to probably come out pretty much like the same way how NIU came out against us.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
Just hungry.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest here. A lot of people do have Indiana written off in this game. A lot of people.
Yeah.
So
they go dig in the bag a little bit.
Yeah,
for sure. Dig in that bag. I think Marcus. I mean, Coach Freeman probably knows that. So I hope they all know that. You know what I mean? Like this team's gonna bring it on. Everything. So. Because of all the different reasons, like you said, secondary to Notre Dame and Indiana, these things. So, I mean, you're right about that. So we stick to our plan. It could be a little tricky. You got to still be aware of what they're going to do. You got to still be wary of what they're going to do. Like you said, they could bring out some crazy stuff. So we got to be careful about that. You're right. You're right.
Not necessarily be careful. Not necessarily really be careful.
Weather,
Just really
you said
just
weather the storm.
stick,
Weather the storm.
just stick to our
Weather the
guns.
storm.
Stick to our
Yeah.
guns. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even if they do get a low early lead, we still stay us and we don't panic.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As long as we don't panic, I think I like our chances.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I think because again, I think our program. I think in terms of if we're comparing programs, I don't think they back up to us whatsoever. I don't think they put in the same work that we do. I don't think they have the same discipline to the rigors of their academics like we do.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the same attention to detail that we do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like, this is something that Notre Dame has been working towards prying themselves and separating themselves from. You know what I'm saying? Not being able to afford, not being able to allow themselves to have a hiccup like on the big stage, like versus a team like IU.
Do you think Riley's ready for the moment? I mean, I don't think there's.
I think he is. I think he is.
I don't think there's any.
Especially with all that he's endured during the season, I think he is. I think he's reached a maturity standpoint to where he's ready to lead this team. I think our team is playing. I think our team is just confident in their program. Again, it doesn't matter what 11 they're rolling out. I think they're confident in taking care of business no matter who they roll out. Because again, USC, you think about it, we kind of saw the problems of, we kind of saw the backfirings of all the injuries that we mounted up throughout the season, especially defensively. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like even though we may have allowed a lot of points versus USC, I think it still showed the maturity and the fortitude of our defense to still close that game out in the fashion that they closed it out. I got to give them credit on that. USC, I mean, USC had the season that they had in the Big Ten, but USC is still our rival and one of our biggest rivals at that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've all been a part of that USC game. No matter what the score is, they not going to stop talking junk.
No.
They not going to stop playing. You know what I'm saying? Those California dudes, they going to show they going to show every bit of California in them versus us. So I think we've matured enough as a team to get over that. Because think about it, even from that NIU loss, we could have went up or down. That next week, we decided to come out and take it to Purdue.
Oh man, that was great.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember, and I still remember to like this day that first quarter of how we were still like calling for Riley. Man, we gotta get this dude out the game, bro. We like ain't no way Angeli throwing the first touchdown pass before him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the way that he was able to come back from that, I gotta tip my cap to him. You know what I'm saying? I was throwing a lot of shade at him, especially them first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And like the way he's been able to turn it around, still compose himself, still be able to be a leader within that offense, to still run a machine. Like, okay, they had a couple bad drives and a couple bad quarters here and there, but still they've been able to, even at times where our defense couldn't get us out of holes, they were able to get us out of holes, and they were able to take care of what they needed to take care of in every single game that they played in after that NIU game.
Yeah.
So I honestly do think we're ready. Again, it's just if we're able to weather that storm versus IU. If we weather the storm against IU, I think we blow out IU maybe 42-14.
Nice. I like it.
But we keep it close. It close. Who knows? That could be a 24-21 game real quick.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Just depending on the weather. Whoever maintains, it can, because they're going to be they're going to come out, play physical, and get after us up front. If we can control the line of scrimmage and again be methodical and kind of to Rakai's point, again, whether you weather the storm, but also, hey, getting after them. We can't just go in there and it's like, oh, well, we're Notre Dame. No, you got to go in there and enforce your dominance. You got to enforce your dominance on a team, because that's what, like I said, that's what happened to NIU. They were just like, oh, well, we just beat Texas A&M. Atmosphere and in Kyle Field in the stadium there down in Texas, it can get pretty wild down there. And we just like, oh, we're good. We're good. No, you're good. You're good until you're not. And it was just it was that slow burn. Again, you had a play here, come out, make a play here, there, but then you regress. You regress. It's only when the consistency matters.
Oh,
Consistency matters, play in and play out. Who's going to be the team that consistently makes the plays? Not necessarily the big play, but who's going to make the play in and play out, and do the little things, because that's how you wear a team down. And Malik kind of touched about it. We don't necessarily always start fast. I think we started fast in like one game.
Ridiculous.
I think that was Louisville, but we kind of work our way into it. So again, defense comes out, shuts them down. Offense, be methodical, and but I don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. I think it's going to come down, like I said, the defense and them turn them over, and then the offense capitalize on the opportunities.
I do believe we get at least about 2 or 3 turnovers. I believe so, because again, I use a heavy run dominant team, and then they make the necessary plays that they need to make within the air, but they're not a team that heavily relies on the air. And again, I feel like we've seen much better receivers all season than the receivers that Indiana has. So again, it just really comes down to making that quarterback uncomfortable, getting some pressure, forcing him to use his feet, and shutting down that rushing attack. You can't allow that running back to get comfortable and get within a rhythm within that game either. We take care of that, we win this game easily. We stay in control the whole entire game, because that's literally their offense.
Malik, you there?
Sorry, guys. I apologize. Okay, so predictions. Let's talk about predictions for the game. What are the scores you think the game's going to come to on Friday, including the weather conditions and everything included?
I think it's going to be I think we score 30, and it'll be 31-14 or 35-17, somewhere along those lines.
I believe in a 42-14 game. I really think our defense finds a way. Our defense or special teams finds a way to score points, and I feel like we wear them down within the run game. Even if we have to throw it, we throw it. But again, I feel like our run game with our 2 running backs we'll be able to take care of them, run them up and down the field all game. I think we'll control that game from kickoff to final whistle.
Okay, guys, and I'm sorry, but yeah, I appreciate you guys. We just gonna wrap it up. The Locker Room Legends, the Lucky Lefty podcast, man. You guys have been great with us. IU Notre Dame first college football playoff game at Notre Dame, the Ice Bowl, the big brother, little brother, the state championship, the who's the baddest team in Indiana, going down 8 p.m. Friday night at Notre Dame Stadium. I'm excited, guys. I think this is a good kickoff and a warm-up game to get ready for that monster the week after. So any last thoughts?
Go Irish.
Go Irish.
Go Irish. There you go. Let's go.
That's all that's needed. Shout out to you guys again, Locker Room Legends, JARRON Jones and Reggie Brooks. Holla at you guys, man. Thanks again so much.
Peace.